Coming up on Mountain News this morning, hear from Bell County health officials about what they believe is behind the recent surge of cases in their area. And we talk with One Mission Group as they travel throughout the mountains, hoping to ease the burden of back-to-school shopping on students with families. Plus, one Kentucky woman has created a life-saving device for children and was able to see it in action earlier this week.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts. Thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Today is a Friday, July 24th. You've made it to the end of that week, and we've been seeing some off and on temperatures, a little bit cooler side. But let's bring in our treat this morning, Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel, to show us what kind of temperatures we can expect. I know, Paige, some people are looking for a little bit of cool down.
Yeah, we're not going to get that, at least for the next couple of days. Today's not going to be bad, but the weekend, it's going to get hot and humid once again. We'll take you up to some of those cameras first, though, where we are dealing with a little bit of that patchy fog early this morning. As you look outside the Whitesburg camera into downtown, starting to see kind of that thicker fog buildup, especially in the low-lying areas. So definitely take it easy out there because we just saw that rain last night. Definitely going to see some patchy fog early this morning. Looking along US 119, US 23, and Jenkins, not looking too bad over there. It looks like those roadways still kind of drying out a little bit after that rain moved through last night. Temperatures upper 60s to lower 70s for a lot of us, most of us into those upper 60s. So relatively comfortable, probably a little bit on that humid side, but today not looking too bad temperature wise. We're going to be into kind of those mid to upper 80s, so actually right near normal for this time of year. That humidity should be down just a little bit after that cold front moved through yesterday. More sunshine starts to move in by the afternoon hours as well. If we get more sunshine, see those clouds clear a little bit earlier, most of us could possibly get into those upper 80s. But sunshine really starts to return today, continues into the weekend, but those hot temperatures return once again heading into the weekend. And we'll see a few scattered storms linger next week, and that's when we could be tracking a little bit of a cool down. I'll have details on that coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Paige. And Kentucky's number of coronavirus cases continues to increase, now passing the 25,000 mark. The governor announced 611 new cases last night, bringing the state's total to 25,147. Laurel County surpassed 300 cases yesterday, and we also learned that 7 more Kentuckians have died. The state's death toll stands at 684. And the state's positivity rate is now 4.9%. Governor Beshear says he's hopeful that by next week, we will begin to see the impact from the mask mandate. And Wednesday, we learned of a positive COVID-19 case at the federal prison in Manchester. We learned about one additional positive case last night, bringing the total to 48 people at that facility. WYMT's Will Puckett has more from Clay County.
Health officials say positive cases in a setting like FCI Manchester are difficult to control.
Typically, with other congregate settings that I've been involved with, such as nursing homes, we have a first cluster of positive cases, and then over the course of the next 14 days, we will have more cases arise.
Thursday, Cumberland Valley District Health Department officials confirmed 43 inmates and 5 staff members tested positive for COVID-19.
One of those is hospitalized. There are 5 others with mild symptoms that are being managed at the facility, and the remainder are asymptomatic.
While making sure not to downplay the risk, Public Health Director Christy Green says the risk to the rest of the population is being monitored.
Once they found that positive, they tested that whole unit, and they have that unit quarantined now and separate, so they're not moving among the general population.
And while COVID-19 did breach the walls, health officials say the prison was and is taking all of the steps necessary to make sure it does not freely get in the complex.
I do know that all staff are masked at all times, that inmates are encouraged to mask at all times, and must mask or are required to mask when they move into common areas of the facility. They also have some pretty stringent symptom checks in place.
The next 14 days, however, are critical to stop another cluster. In Clay County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
We also learned that earlier reports that none of the guards who tested positive lived in the health department's district were incorrect. One of the guards lives in Clay County, and health officials say he is self-isolating. Bell County now has 210 cases of COVID-19, with 8 new cases announced yesterday. The Bell County Health Department reported the county's second COVID-19 related death, a 74-year-old woman. We talked with officials who say the county is experiencing community spread, and it is hard to pinpoint and isolate one location the cases are coming from.
Most of our cases are symptomatic, and they're not all single trace to one event. We're seeing some that the folks, contracted at work from a coworker. We've seen multiple cases where one family member, was positive and then ultimately infected the entire family.
Currently, the county has 92 active COVID-19 cases with 118 recovered. Health department officials urge people to continue wearing masks and social distancing to help slow the spread. And with Bell County students set to start back school next month, the school district is giving students and parents the option to choose between in-person or distance learning offered through a virtual platform, both offered Monday through Friday. The school district posted a registration form online for parents to fill out and complete by Friday, July 31st.
That'd give us a good amount of time to be able to plan for the number of kids we're going to have. We don't, it's very difficult to plan when you don't know how many students are going to be in the building and how many will choose to use the virtual learning. We're going to make every effort to make certain that we make contact with those parents and find out what their option is going to be.
Bell County Schools plans to begin classes on August 25th. We will have a link to the registration form over on our website, WYMT.com. And whilst many districts are releasing their plans for the upcoming semester, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. During a virtual town hall yesterday, Kentucky Department of Education officials hope to clear up some of those concerns. They also released documents containing guidance on their website regarding mandatory mask wearing, temperature screenings before students enter the building, and social distancing inside the classrooms. Many of the same topics brought up in yesterday's meeting. Meanwhile, health experts weighed in on why these measures are critical to keep students and their families safe. And during the governor's update, he also said that cases, if they continue to rise, that he may recommend schools with an early August start date push back their openings. And with the economic hit of the pandemic, back-to-school shopping is placing a burden on many families. WYMT's Buddy Forbes shows us how one group is traveling around the region, hoping to help offset some of those concerns.
An assembly line of love.
Kids, girl 16, girl 11. We're just a family doing what God has called us to do.
That all started with a family down on its luck.
We had a lot of pride. And we got down to where we had one peanut butter sandwich to feed 4 of us.
After coming through their own trials, they made it their mission to give back to families who find themselves in the same situation.
But that's how God built the ministry He has. And He told us to step out on our faith, and that's what we've done.
Creating a drive-through operation to donate school supplies and clothing to the people of Eastern Kentucky and Southwest Virginia.
I think it's great that the Putting Prayers to Action is doing this for the community. There's several people that need it, we are a poor community.
To help ease the back-to-school burden that is only heightened by the pandemic.
But whenever I tell a family I know what you're going through, I can empathize with that family because we have been there.
But it is a project that requires a lot of hustle. And a lot of help. A project that has served 1,400 kids this week alone, all because of those who support the mission.
One of the outfits might actually come from a lady in California, and it's actually being gave to a child in the Appalachian Mountains, so it's amazing.
Putting prayers to action. In Breaks, Virginia, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The group is always accepting donations and are looking for new places to lend a hand. They served more than 700 kids at the breaks yesterday, benefiting Pike County students and students from several Virginia counties. And a Jeffersonville woman created a life-saving device for children, and she got to see it in action yesterday. Lori Forrest first got the idea for Safety Child 4 years ago after reading about a 9-month-old who died after being accidentally left in a hot car. The design has taken a lot of work, but Forrest has finally gotten a patent for her device. It uses a sensor in the car seat and technology to know when the driver has left the vehicle, but the baby has not.
Once the driver leaves, with the pressure still on the car seat, with that little baby bottom on there, the time starts with the countdown. After 60 seconds, the driver and someone else, whoever the phone number's been given to, will get a message saying that the child's been left in the car.
Safety Child sends a second message at 90 seconds, and if the child is still there after 2 minutes, the device alerts 911 with the vehicle's GPS location. Forrest says if she's able to save even one child's life, it'll all be worth it.
And that sun's starting to rise this morning, still dealing with a little bit of that patchy fog, but overall we're looking at a pretty good day heading into your Friday. We'll take you up to some of those cameras first. Looking over into that UVA-wise camera, you see a little bit of fog, especially in those low-lying areas, but definitely dealing with those cloudy skies. And you could see that as we're starting to see that sunrise this morning. Cloudy skies looking on top of Buffalo Mountain. That's because of that cold front that moved through yesterday, so we'll continue to kind of hang on to those clouds. Maybe a few rain chances today, but hopefully we'll see more sunshine by the afternoon hours. Temperatures remaining into about the upper 60s for a lot of us. Warmer up into Ashland at 73, 66 in Harlan, 69 in Middlesboro, 68 over into Williamsburg. Today we'll get near about 85 degrees. Once again, depending on how much clouds stick around. If we see sunshine return quickly, we could easily get into about those upper 80s heading into tomorrow. But heading into today, excuse me. Guys, running on 2 hours of sleep, but heading into tomorrow, going to be into the upper 80s to lower 90s. Heading into the weekend, going to be hot, but a cool down's on the way next week. I'll have more details on that coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Paige, and thanks for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, President Trump is taking action as the United States passes 4 million positive cases of COVID-19.